Right, we are here now on Facebook and YouTube. So hello, welcome. Peter's here too.
Oh,
hello,
hello.
Petey. Right, so we are about to come out of Gabrielle, and then we'll do some stuff. Have you got some new studies and all that?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. 10 seconds. We'll just send out to people on the radio and tell them to go to Facebook and YouTube, and we'll be with you in just a moment. Gabrielle there with Sunshine, the song. It's very sunny outside. We now have a little fan for our feet and legs. We have a larger fan for the upper half. I've got a USB fan going. It's quite a warm day, but it's a better day because now I've got Peter with me.
Hello, Andy B.
And you make my day better.
Well, I'm glad I do that.
Well, I've got to say it again. The start of my show, I almost didn't do it because I was so broken-hearted by what I've just seen. MPs voting for against 99% of the will of the people.
Yes.
I'll just leave that one parked there to vote for something absolutely heinous, disgusting, and terrible. But we are here, and I've got to say all that because I can't not. But we are here to try and bring a little bit of brightness back into the dark world that we live in today. Do you know why? Because however dark it might be out there, and the MPs have made it very dark, do you know what happens in the darkness, Peter? The light always wins.
Yes.
It does. Love people. Tell them they're amazing and awesome, please. I mean that, because I think you're amazing. I really, really do. Now, Peter, I forgot what we did. It's been weeks.
It has been a little while.
Sickness, travelling, all of the above, and we're back again.
Yes.
So, I genuinely can't remember. Do we do news first, or is that later?
We tend to do that a bit later.
Right,
First
that's
we do thank
I
yous.
literally have got a blank.
Yes.
I have. It's been one of those days. But we are here for a time such as this,
Yeah.
I think, and I hope anyway. So, right, now, things you're thankful for,
Okay.
which is harder today, but maybe in a sense the very reason why being thankful is what we do. Because there's reasons not to be thankful. This isn't thankful not Thursday. This is thankful Thursday, but on a Friday. So give me some things that you're thankful for there, Peter, please.
Okay. Do you want me to do 3 things and we'll alternate as usual?
Yes, the simple version that we do normally, where we do 3 things each. So you do your 3 and I do my 3, which makes 6 things altogether. You do yours and mine, then yours is 50% of ours, but not yours. Technically, that's more than 50%. So how does the maths work?
That would be 33.33 occurring for me.
I know, but when we get halfway
No,
through, you're
66.
more than half.
Yes, excellent.
Like, maths is broken.
Sorry, I said the wrong number. It's 66.66 occurring.
Yes, which is more than half. Hence my point.
It is.
It makes no sense to me. Maths is broken. It doesn't work. All those teachers at school, maths is really important, but it's broken. How can half not be half?
Well,
There's six things, 2 of us, 3 each. When we've said 3, we've said half, but half isn't 50%. So it can't be half. It's 2/3. But it is half of the total amount. See, maths is broken.
I'm not sure about that, but
I am.
I think we should move on from mathematics.
Do you think so?
Yes, we've had this conversation a couple of times that we shouldn't do maths on the Get Your Home show. Now,
Dan said avoid tangents.
Oh.
Well, Dan, I will help Peter to come back from the tangents, but I can't guarantee success with him.
Well,
So would you like to give me the first thing you're thankful for as we gloss over that?
okay. Well, the first thing I'm thankful for is a bit silly, but I'm thankful for, 2 coasters. One for my hot chocolate and...
Dan says radio presenters and fractions and percentages do not mix.
No, I don't think so.
No, I think it's absolutely true.
I agree with you there, Dan. So, yeah, I'm thankful for 2 coasters. A, for my hot chocolate, and B, for the paper. You see, we've got news stories on paper and we've got the fans on. And obviously paper tends to blow in the wind. So I've got a coaster
Do you want me
on
glass?
top of
The
the
empty
paper.
glass?
Well, the coaster's
It's
doing
going
it,
to
I
stink
think.
in a bit because it had milk in it, but
Yeah. Well, I've got a coaster. I think it's under control. But yes, that's what I'm thankful for. It's a bit silly, but it's keeping the paper from flying all over the place, which is handy.
things I'm thankful for. Spotting that I was taking the wrong medication, not overdosing badly, but I was taking too much of the wrong medication and 0 of the other one. Why? Well, here's an interesting one. I have a big box of tablets and a small box of tablets. The small box, helpfully, has teeny tiny tablets. They're very obviously different. They look like a heart shape with a line through the middle. You can't mistake them. The other tablets in a much bigger box are huge. Now, for the last 48 hours, because I looked at it properly, I've been taking the wrong pill, 1.5 of the wrong pill, and 0 of the other one. The other one is kind of the important one because it's the one that tells my heart what to do.
Yes.
And this morning I thought, that's not the right pill. But it's not my mistake. I know why it's not my mistake, because I took the tablets out of a box, and I haven't used this box before. It was sealed, and it's the wrong tablets inside. Somehow it's the other tablets. So I'm presuming, at some point, the pharmacy would have taken them out and put them in and not quite got it right. I have to assume that.
I'm pretty confident you just took them out of the packet and they were wrong.
Yes.
Because I remember you saying, wow, they changed
not
the tablets. I remember you pointed out they could become much larger, but it's like, oh, that's odd. But they didn't become much larger. It was just in the wrong box.
But of course, because the text on the packet is hard to read sometimes. What? Seriously? You want to make it even harder for us? Yeah, I hadn't spotted it until I thought, this is not right. And I had a proper look. I got a torch out and a magnifying glass pretty much and thought, that's the same tablet.
Yeah.
And then I realised it was the wrong name. So anyway, not a major dangerous issue, but yeah, sort of half overdosing is 1.5 tablets. It was not really bad, but I haven't been taking my heart tablets.
Yeah.
Hey ho. So I am thankful, slightly long-winded, but I am thankful that I spotted it, and that my family helped me to work out how serious it wasn't. Actually, it's okay in the scheme of things, because it's a tiny dose of either anyway, so it's not really much of anything. But yes, resolved now, but that was not a happy chappy moment.
Yeah, it's good. That is definitely something to be thankful for. Got it all figured out, ironed out any problems. So on to my thank you now. Is that what we're going to do?
Yes, because we've done one each, so that's 6, which is 1/3.
Yes, okay.
Or 33%.
Actually, we're both on 33% at the moment.
Yes.
And together we're 33% still.
Yes, you see, maths is broken. You and I have both done 1, and collectively we have done 33% of the 6.
But individually we've both done 33%.
Yes, I know. Maths is broken, everybody.
I'm not sure if a mathematician would agree with that, but okay. I feel like there's a number missing, because you do 33.33 occurring. It's like there's an in-between number for that 33.3.
There was a Star Trek episode, and it was from the original series of Star Trek, right? The really, really good one with Leonard Nimoy, William Shatner, George Takei, all that. Anyway, there's a moment where Spock has to defeat the computer on the USS Enterprise, NCC-1701, because it was the first one. Yes, I know the code of the Enterprise for a few reasons. But anyway, they had to confuse the computer and slow it down. So what did Spock do? Spock is Mr. Intelligence. Okay, computer, 22 divided by 7 to its infinite amount. And of course, we know that 22 divided by 7 starts as 3.14. That's pi, Pythagoras. However, you can keep going, and there isn't actually an end. And Spock managed to kill the computer with maths, which just goes to show that maths is dangerous.
I suppose you could say that, although it's just, you just say occurring when you get into that kind of area.
Yeah, but he told it to say it had to be to its fullest length.
Yeah, although you can also round up the number, especially when you get onto that and stuff.
Dan says tangent alert, tangent alert.
Oh, yes. Andy B's fault, I think, actually. You got back onto maths.
Yes, it's Dan's fault. It's your fault, Dan. You made a comment about presenters and maths.
I did not say that.
No, Dan did.
But,
It's Dan's fault.
Okay, well, moving on from maths, I think for our own safety and for the listeners' safety.
For everybody else, yeah.
For the entire world's safety, and so we don't crash any computers like on Star Trek, like you're saying. On to your thank you.
You haven't done your second yet.
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't do... No, because you went on to mathematics and you distracted me.
You see, you're taking us on a tangent now because you didn't even answer the question.
That's the opposite of tangent, actually. Because if
You're detangentizing.
Well, no, I didn't go on a tangent.
Is that a word? I'm just saying that to wind Nathan up.
So my second thank you. Right. Well, I'd say I'm thankful that I'm back doing the hot chocolate section with Andy B. And
I have missed these.
Yeah, it's been is it like 2 or 3 weeks? It's been a while.
It's been a while because last week, just ill health, quite honestly. Week before that, ill health. Week before that, were we away?
I'm pretty sure we were away.
I'm checking my calendar now because I want to know. This is bugging me now. So last week, where are we? Right, 20th. So last week, the 13th, we didn't do it because I wasn't well. My voice was really straining. And then, no, was it? When did we go? There was a week when we had to turn it off because people were coming in and out. Oh, that was a Sunday, wasn't it? That was a family focus where we didn't have it because everyone was loading the car.
Oh, yes.
Yes, okay, I remember that. Right, I'm just fascinated now, but what happened? Yeah, because last Saturday I was in Nottingham, and I'm Ambassadors Football, where I was allowed through the door, even though they'd have said, what's the game of football all about? I'd have said, I don't know, something to do with balls and fields running around. I don't know. I don't do football, but they let me in anyway, which was great. Yeah, the week before that, you see, we went to Oxford. Oxford, that was the other one, on the 6th of June. We weren't doing this because I was driving to Oxford with Nathan Thomas.
Yes.
For our very first festival planning session. And then, where was that one? Why can't I see? Why is it blocked out? Not let me go up the thingy. What's that? Three Peaks.
Yes.
Three Peaks was the 30th of May. We weren't here for that one either.
No.
Which means the last time we did this was the 23rd of May.
That's last month. Wow, that's quite a while ago, actually.
So that's 1, 2, 3. That's nearly 4 weeks. That's 3 Fridays ago.
So, yeah, I was right with my maths.
It's been a while. 3 Fridays or 3/5 of a weekend, unless it's 4-week weekend. Although there's the 5-week month, and then there's the February, which gets really confusing, and then it gets nonsense. Right, have you done your thing yet?
I've done my second thank you. Yes.
Dan says I'm also thankful for the Facebook auto-generated captions this afternoon. They are quite funny when they don't pick up the words correctly. He says, suddenly applying diction to all that he says. One line suggested Matthew was broken. Should have been mathematics. I know a couple of Matthews and really hope they're not broken.
Okay.
Yes, me too. I'm sure the Matthews of the world are broken, not broken.
That's why technology.
Although
isn't
Matthew
perfect.
West does a song about broken, doesn't he?
Oh yes, I think so.
Matthew West, broken.
Although,
Actually, do you know what's worse? Matthew West does more than one song on being broken. He's got all the broken pieces, broken things, broken girl. It's like he's trying to make a point about something. I like Matthew West. He's brilliant. Just checking all the other ones. 3 songs with the word broken and Matthew West in it. Who knew? Broken.
yes.
Whoa, that's a lot of broken. Well, that's interesting. We've got 15 songs on the system, and we have, let me look, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them are from Matthew West.
Wow. 1 or 2 then.
Yeah.
Well, 15 to be precise.
Broken girl, all the broken pieces. We are the broken things.
Yeah.
Matthew West. You see, now that's a tangent led by Dan, Mr. Community Dan, getting me thinking about Matthew West and the word broken.
Although I don't think you need much help with that.
I didn't need much help. No, possibly not. Right. How far have we got?
I've done my 2 thank yous onto your second thank you as well.
Facebook is wrong. Facebook is wrong. I said diction, not addiction.
I can understand how it could misunderstand, but there's a reason why technology or artificial intelligence is artificial.
Artificial intelligence, everybody, is not just fake intelligence. It's just computer code pretending to try to be human.
Sort of like artificial flavorings. It's not the
Yes.
real deal.
It's like an artificial sweetener.
Yes.
It might taste sweet, but it's really, really not.
Well,
Sugar.
It tastes
So,
sweet, but
in the same way, it's not a real brain.
yeah, I think a lot of experts on this matter say it's not actually the technology being smart. It's the person who programmed it, which makes sense.
Where did I look at something about robots? I forgot. I think it was a documentary. Or it might have been a film, Mickey taking something, but accurately. And they have this state-of-the-art robot. You know, it's like $10 gazillion or something, or pounds, because we can make things too. It was 10 gazillion pounds. And they said, this is rubbish. No, this is like the pinnacle of technology. It's used by the military. Nothing is better than this as it fell over. Righty-ho. I think we're good. Terminator Land, not really that true. Yes,
Unlikely.
a lathe is good at slicing little bits of metal off, but who made the lathe? People. Where did the metal come from for the lathe? People. Just saying. We're clever things. God made us wonderfully and beautifully. We absolutely are fantastic and awesome. Made in his image, and you are made deliberately on purpose and with purpose. Now, how far have we got? You've done your 2.
Yes,
And I've done 1.
We're still waiting on your second. You keep going on tangents so that you can't actually say what your thank you is.
So the second thing I'm thankful for, do you know what? Technology today.
Technology. Oh, that's a
Thinking
good
about
one.
artificial intelligence, but I'm actually really thankful for technology because this morning I had a lovely chat with 2 guys, not met them before, Dan and Ray, and they were absolutely brilliant. I had a fantastic conversation. Didn't know them. We just got on like a house on fire. Absolutely fantastic chaps. So we had a chat this morning via Zoom, organised by my wife via email, from a contact on a website, from an email to a message. It's all the technology that came together to make it possible. Webcams, microphone, 3 of us on a conversation. in 3 different places. It was utterly brilliant. Technology can be fantastic. I keep saying this because I run a digital radio station and a digital magazine that's also available as printed. But yeah, I like technology. Sometimes, though, technology, it's not so good. There's a brilliant line. Bruce Willis, I think, in the first Die Hard film, said, I think technology peaked with frozen pizza being able to go in the microwave. That was the Bruce Willis comment. I love that. Was it first or second Die Hard? Some things have peaked. You won't remember this. You're a little bit too young, Peter. But some of the listeners out there may remember the first PDAs. Do you remember these personal digital assistant? It looks a bit like a phone, kinda, but you had to have a special pen to touch it because we didn't have touch pad, really. You had to have a special pen that made contact. I know you can touch a phone now. Same basic point. But they were amazing things. And they had diaries and calendars and all sorts of things you get on a computer, but much cheaper and smaller and all that. However, you could write your name with a pen. And I couldn't help but think, why? But for what end? Where is that handwritten signature going? Nowhere. Could we use a piece of paper and a pencil instead? Yes, you could. So when I started doing some preachy stuff in churches, I thought, I'll use a tablet. I like technology, hated it, detested it, loathed it. I had paper by the second week. It was horrible. It's not the same because it crashed. The tablet crashed in the middle of a talk.
And that actually...
And do you know what doesn't crash? Paper.
Well, one of the things, though, is when you're trying to do a draw on a phone or a tablet or something like that, it never writes like you want, especially if you're using your finger. But if you use, a pen or a pencil and paper, you can be much neater, I found.
Yes, it's true. Also, as you're writing, it's a little bit slower than you, which is very freaky because you end up trying to watch the dot of where it is, which isn't quite where you are, and then it looks really weird. Dan Rouse is too young to remember PDAs.
Okay. I don't remember PDAs. I know I've seen films with PDAs.
Joe had one. Jojo had a PDA. It was beautiful. That was really good. It was a Sony Clee, C-L-I-E. It was beautiful. It felt really luxurious and good. And that was genuinely a great collection of data. I had like a calculator thing in my pocket that was sort of it was a bit like a digital phone book. That was okay. It was all right. I mean, I had it for a while because it was quite good. But it had its limitations. But Joe had a little PDA when they were still quite new. It was beautiful to touch and to hold. It was this beautiful screen. You had to have a pen, but even the pen was beautiful to hold in your fingers. They'd really thought this through. And then eventually, of course, as technology died. Didn't work anymore.
Same. We had a vacuum, which was really good, but unfortunately... it sucked. It came to a point where it just sucked, really.
Well, at one point, it was sucking electricity out. So, like, sparks and things were flying out.
That's not good, especially because it comes into contact with carpets, which, I mean, it's not like they're flammable, but they're not exactly fireproof.
You might know this smell. If you've ever used a Hoover and you get the sort of smell of burning rubber, you know that the little fan belt thing at the bottom that turns the brush bar, it's about to die, okay? Because it's wearing out and you smell the burning. This wasn't that. This was the actual motor catching fire.
That's not good.
Do you know how fast you can run? Do you know how you can measure how fast you can run? The smell of something burning in a house. It is amazing how you can be a 100-meter distance runner as if they are crawling.
That does happen, especially if you're motivated.
I've had it. I've had it twice because one of the times the dishwasher caught fire. It's apparently a really known fault on this particular dishwasher, and so I smelt it. Thankfully, praise God, I was in the kitchen next to the thing as I thought, that's burning electricity. That's really dangerously bad. And then I heard the spark and saw the flames. I ran to the other end of the house. There were people in the way, and I didn't knock anybody down, despite being not a tiny chap and running at speed to find the circuit board and knock off the power.
So basically what you're saying is all of a sudden you became a marathon runner, but also an acrobat.
Yes.
At the same time.
It's amazing how much dexterity you have when you need to do something quickly. Thing is, so the landlord said, we don't think it caught on fire. We just think it's not. But we're going to have to send an electrician instead, just in case. But we don't believe you. The electrician said, wow, that's bad, isn't it? I could smell this half a mile away. Yeah. And then the person from the landlord people, they said, oh, we're so sorry. We thought you were lying. No. Why would they lie about a dishwasher on fire?
That's not
What
most...
possible motivation have I got apart from mischief? And why? I don't have a dishwasher now. So, I mean, oh dear. Anyway, people, where have we got to? I've done 2, haven't I?
We've both done 2 thank yous.
So now we're at 4 out of 6, which is more than halfway. But I've done more than 2 and you've done more than 2. But, I mean, the maths is broken.
Okay, well, my third thank you then, because remember, we're trying to avoid mathematics at all costs.
Yes.
That's what we're trying to avoid.
Yes. 2 out of 2 people think maths is broken.
Yes, that's 100%.
Oh.
So the third thing that I'm thankful for, I suppose it might be calculators, actually, since we're talking about maths.
Yes.
Something that you can use when you're not so sure about your maths sum. You can be twice as sure, but also, I suppose, maths paper as well, which makes it much easier when trying to do mathematics.
Yeah, I like calculators. I saw a hack the other day and I thought, oh, that's not good. That's not right. That's really dumb. And they got a calculator and they took a photo on their phone of a calculator and moved the picture of the calculator on their phone, which they'd just taken, so it filled perfectly the screen. So it looked as though the front of the mobile phone was a calculator, which I thought was a bit sneaky and not very honest and good.
But why would you want to make your phone look like a calculator?
To cheat. To take your phone into an exam.
Oh.
It's a calculator, look. It's got buttons. Oh, let me have a look. Oh, it's a phone.
But surely you wouldn't be bringing in a calculator if you're about to do, like, a maths test.
Well, you would if you wanted to cheat to get a good grade and didn't care if you actually knew the subject or not.
No, but I mean, like, why would your phone looking like a calculator allow you to get away with...
Well, because it looks like a calculator. So when they say, have you got a phone? No, it's a...
But surely they don't want you to have a calculator when you're doing maths questions.
Well, they might be okay with you having a calculator, but not a phone. So if your phone now looks like a calculator, you can take your phone in saying, it's a calculator, lying, and take it into the room.
Well, they're technically not lying that much because you
It
can...
is lying.
Well, you've got a maths function on a mobile phone.
Oh my goodness, here we go.
So...
Nothing immoral is one of our core values.
Don't do that.
And you're suggesting it's okay.
Well, no, I'm just saying that technically the phone is a calculator, amongst also being able to look things up
Okay, well, that's different.
and dictionaries.
Mhm.
But, yeah, either way, it's immoral. You
Mhm.
shouldn't be cheating at questions, but I'm just saying a phone is also a calculator.
Yes, please don't cheat at exams, because you might actually pass the exam and be an idiot.
And that wouldn't be good.
No, it wouldn't.
It would be dishonest, to be honest.
More than that.
Yeah, it would be immoral, and we don't promote that on
No,
radio.
always bad. Have you done 3 now?
I have done 3. I've done my 100%. Now on to your 100%.
So what my third thing that I'm thankful for? Do you know I'm really thankful for this radio station? Right now, in the midst of a sea of terrible stuff in government, decisions that are really horrible, I am thankful for this radio station because it means we can bring a pure message of hope and joy to people that need it all around the world. And we do broadcast all around the world. So hello to you, wherever you are. Yeah, we broadcast globally. So I think I am most happy, most joyful, and most thankful that we have this radio station and the magazine in order to bring hope into the lives of people, to be a light in the darkness, hence the white on the black. Because the world is a dark place, isn't it?
Yeah, and the light shines brightest in the darkness. And that's not just like a Bible quote. It's actually facts, you know. If you shine,
absolutely true.
Yeah, if you turn the light, if you go into a darkened room, then turn on light, you'll notice that light is brightest in the darkness.
Yes, indeed. Right, we're going to play a piece of music now and take a little break while we get some new studies for you. So don't go away on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be back to you in a minute. We're going to play some Sarah Reeves, Fuel to My Fire. And while that's playing, we'll be adding some fuel to my fire with a drink, because it's hot. And we'll be back in just a moment. And we'll be back as well for you folks on Facebook and YouTube. We're just going to go to a little graphic. I'm going to have a drink and we'll get ready for our new studies coming soon. Oh, got the right button in the end.
That is helpful.
It was a bit trippy there, wasn't it? It's all good. No, you can see this, can't you? You can't actually see that screen.
No. Well, I can see the monitor.
Oh, okay. But you can't see that screen. That was Sarah Rees, Fuel to My Fire. This is the Get You Home show on Pure 247 Radio. Myself, Andy B, and Peter are at the helm of the awesomeness of the 4 o'clock slot.
Yes, I like that. I like the sound of that.
It's good, isn't it? We should package that as a little thing. Right, what are we doing? We've done the 3 things we're thankful for. If you want to let us know what you're thankful for, by the way, we would love for you to tell us. You can let us know on the socials, on the live stream on Facebook and YouTube. There's Twitter, there as now called X, of course. Then there's Instagram. There's email, hello@pure247radio.org, hello@pure247radio.org. And, of course, there is...
Wait, how many have you listed? You listed socials, email, and WhatsApp?
WhatsApp.
Yes.
There we are. Just checking.
Okay, I was just checking.
I hadn't forgotten. Yeah, WhatsApp. If you want the link for WhatsApp, which works brilliantly well, mostly, you can find that by going to our website, which is
Pure247radio.org.
Pure247radio.org. If you go to the bottom of the page, and I'm going to do that right now, you go to www.pure247radio.org. If you scroll down to the bottom of any of the pages, you will see at the very bottom a green box that says Chat on WhatsApp. And if you click on the button that says Chat on WhatsApp, it enables you to be able to have the opportunity of enjoying the possibilities of chatting on WhatsApp.
Yes, pretty much that's what it does.
It's exactly what it does. Right, Peter.
Andy B.
Where have you got some news?
I have got some news stories.
I'm just clearing up my screen in front of me.
Okay.
This is actually to do the radio show.
I have to say, though, we haven't got all too many new studies today, but we've got some...
What madness is this?
Well, we have got stories, though, and it's not deliberate, but all 3 other stories are all to do with science and scientific stuff. And in a sense...
Okay, science is fine.
And in a sense, a lot of
is
them
it science with maths?
Science, fortunately, not maths.
No, I think scientists should take a good look at maths because it's broken.
Maybe they can do a mathematical equation to figure out what's wrong with it or something. Okay, but I didn't mean for this, but all 3 of them are... Some of them are kind of like new studies, but all of them are scientific based. And would you like to have choose out of these 3 stories?
Go on, what we got?
Okay, so scientists create device that can actually record your dreams. British scientists create world's smallest violin, and the world's first flying car could hit the market in 2026.
I have a question.
Yes.
The car that's going to hit the market would be a bad thing, so let's start with that one. Why do they want to crash the car that's going to hit the market? Isn't that a bad thing?
That's a good point, actually.
That's a really terrible turn of phrase, which is probably the intention. But anyway, we don't want cars to hit the markets.
Although that seems to be the going phrase when you say that a new car's coming out, it's going to hit the markets. That's not a good idea because that would knock the markets out in a sense.
Dan's old school. I like to carry a pigeon method of communication.
Yeah, it is quite an efficient
dinner and a show.
Yes, it is. Yes,
pigeon pie.
Although, isn't that sort of illegal? Wasn't it illegal to shoot a messenger pigeon?
Yes, but we're not really in the time of messenger pigeons that you can't shoot and eat.
That's a good point.
I think, to be honest, if a bird lands in your garden, you shouldn't eat it. If it's a pigeon, because they're rats with wings, and if you then go and decide to eat a racing pigeon, they would never know. But that would be even worse because that's someone's pet.
Yeah, I have actually seen a pet. Well, basically a pet pigeon. It does look very different to a normal rat with wings. First of all, it wasn't scared of me when I walked past it. It had a little label on its leg, but also it seemed to have larger eyes, and somehow, even for a pigeon, it managed to look kind of cute and friendly, which is very impressive for a pigeon.
Pigeons are not cute nor friendly.
No, but this one
Have
did.
you ever met any pet rats?
I don't think I've met one.
See, now, a pet rat is quite a complicated concept because of what we think rats of being. So I was at someone's house and they said, "Oh, do you want to see my pet rat?" And I thought it was a joke. Honestly, I didn't think anybody would actually ever have an actual rat as a pet. Oh, it's dead clever. It's really intelligent. I mean, it'll bite your fingers off, but it's really good fun as long as you don't touch it because he's a bit aggressive. Yeah, sounds like fun, that one.
Although I don't like the sound of keeping a rat or a mouse because they've got very, very good teeth and can bite through the cage if you think about it.
A gerbil could.
A gerbil could.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I see what you mean. A rat as a pet. I kind of think. I'm not sure about that. Same with a mouse, although a mouse seems a bit more subdued, in a sense.
I would say mice are a little bit safer. We had gerbils when I was a kid. Those are evil, malicious, violent things. They just want to maim and destroy these little cute little things with... No, they're really not. I had one trying to attack my finger.
Yeah, they do have sharp teeth, these kind of little rodents and stuff.
They do. Rats. So I was chatting to a man, and his job was to deal with rats infestations. That was his job. And chatting to him, I said, how do you deal with rats? What do you actually do about a rat? He says, is there anything you can actually put that a rat can't eat? No. They'll eat anything. They don't care. They'll eat through anything if they think there's food nearby. So it doesn't matter what you put down. Their teeth are like diamonds. They are so sharp and strong. They'll eat through steel and all sorts. I said, but there's got to be something to stop a rat getting in your house. There is, he said. It's very clever. Rats aren't stupid. They don't like hurting themselves. So what you do is you put wire wool when there are gaps that rats might come through. And they go to eat the wire wool, and it hurts, and they don't bother.
Oh.
Yep. You heard it here first. So, yeah, he said wire wool.
Okay.
Because rats aren't stupid, basically. They don't want to hurt themselves. What animal does? They might have really tough teeth, but their gums are soft. So although their teeth can bite through stuff that you think, how is that possible? They don't like wire wool.
Although what you could do
Little bit of Andy Tip rat infestation advice here on Pure 24/7 Radio.
I was just thinking that what you could do is where a rat or a rodent might want to get through, you could set up a miniaturized electric fence, and that way it wouldn't get in, perhaps.
Possibly.
Although I don't know if that's quite a suggestion from people who deal with that kind of thing.
I've met a few rat control officers. I said, why does your van not have anything on it? Well, a lot of people don't want people to know they've got rats. And I said, yeah, but rats are everywhere. Like, there's a rat in your garden, and there just is. Yeah, I know, there's rats everywhere, he said, but some people don't like people to know they've got rats, even though everyone knows they've got rats, because everybody has rats if you're in a city, but people don't want them to know what everyone knows they have. If they're not in your garden, they're in the next one. They just are. He was really, really honest. So I have a plain van. Don't people know what you are anyway? Yes. But it was just funny. Interesting.
I can understand the need for discretion there, but I was just wondering...
He was like a rat detective, though. He was great. I said, look, there's rats. We've seen them. Okay, we'll come along. And he went through the garden, and he's like, oh, there's a tunnel here. Could you see this tunnel? No, they're clever. And he was really excited about how clever rats are. So this is what you can do. We'll kill them. But he was really respectful of these rats and how amazing they were, but he wanted to kill them.
Well, that's kind of his job, I suppose. But question, how did we get from flying cars to rats?
I don't know how you took us there, Peter. Take us back to the cars.
Okay, so this, I think it's been done a couple of times where people try to make a car...
You know, there's a thing about tangents. The person that spots it surely is the person that created it.
Not necessarily. In fact, I think not, because I'm normally the one who points it out, and it's normally your tangent. Anyways, moving back to the car subject, I think it's been done a couple of times, having...
I'm not saying a word. I am just sitting here, making no remarks or comments with my face.
I'm not sure about that, but okay.
I'm merely giving you my full attention.
Yes, but okay. To do with
just sitting here, smiling, minding my own business, waiting, willing to finish.
Well, have you ever seen a flying car?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's been around for a little.
It was fired from a cannon. It flew through the air, then crashed.
Well,
and on Top Gear, they had a flying car that wasn't a car, but pretended to look like a car that was actually a hot air balloon, made to look like a car that was sort of electric controlled. So it's kind of a remote control plane, but a car.
So not really a car then?
No.
Okay. Well,
not like a car.
Well, actually, they said it in. Was it?
No, actually, that's not true. I have seen a real one, not in person. I have actually seen one because there was a plane made years ago in the States, and it is part car, part plane. But there are so few people who can actually fly it, because anybody can drive it, I think, but you can't fly it without having certain very complicated license. So the number of people in America who could actually fly this very old car, worth millions probably, it's teeny, because it isn't. You don't just need a pilot's license because of the very nature of what the car is.
Oh yeah. Well, sort of like with hovercrafts, which even though they go on water, you need to be a pilot, which is a bit confusing. But yeah. Basically, this is about flying a car, and I think people have tried it quite a few times. It's like what you're saying about that one. But this one apparently is going to be properly road legal and actually usable, which is a bit odd. Now, it's not quite like a Rolls Royce on the roads, from what I'm hearing. It's not like a posh car.
Shocking.
No. Well, it's apparently 2 meters wide, which is pretty wide. That's wider than our car. So that's quite wide on the roads.
That's a big car.
That's quite big.
Where we live, we have single track roads. That would not work well in its car shape.
But the other thing is though, it's only a 2-seater. So for 2 meters, you only fit 2 people in the car. Yes, and not much space for luggage
They're
either.
not going for the mass transportation class of person, are they?
No, but also here's the thing: it's 5.8 meters long. That is quite right. That's quite a lot, actually.
Is there a?
You're basically buying a van kind of diameter. That's what kind of size car it is, and so to the point, it's not really a car.
So put this in context. It is half the length of a 40-foot trailer. The big trailers you see beyond trucks with 3 wheels, they're basically 40 foot. Big containers, 40 feet. It's half that length.
Yeah.
And it's 2 meters wide.
2 meters wide. Yeah.
So it's almost as wide as a truck, and it's half as long as a trailer for 2 people. I'm not sure, if I'm absolutely honest, that this thing, pun intended, is going to take off.
It's also 1.8 meters tall. So it's literally...
That's not so bad.
But apparently it can do 155 miles per hour on the road. Although, here's the thing though, you're basically buying a car which is going to suck on the road and probably not going to perform that well in the air. It doesn't sound very good. But
It's the same thing though. And you try and get something to do 2 things, it's never going to be 2 things done well. It'll be 2 things done nearly as well, probably rubbish. I want to have a digital camera because my phone, okay, it's a basic, boring, cheap budget phone, all right? It has a calculator, I can access the internet, I can send messages, I can take photographs, I can listen to music. Here's the thing, my CD player, better than this. My camera, better than this. My computer, better than this. And the thing is, a mobile phone is a collection of stuff, all of which is done not very well, in one package. I still want to buy myself a digital camera, which is better than the mobile phone.
But it's the same
Easily.
Same like with a video game on the phone. It's not going to be as good as a video game on a TV.
Of course it's not.
Yeah, like made by a video game company.
No.
Which is it just doesn't work as well.
It's
And
not the same.
I'm just not convinced by this. Yeah. Here's the thing though. You need
How
to
many
be.
stories have we covered?
We're still covering the first.
Oh, we're
to be
doing well
honest.
then.
Yeah, we are. But here's the thing though. It's £600,000 to buy it, so that's $760,000.
Okay.
So that's a lot of money. But here's the thing though. It's not exactly a supercar, which you could buy for 600 grand. A very nice supercar for that much. So it's not really a high performing car on the road. And I'm not thinking it's a very high performing car in the air. Now, it is quite clever because the wings...
$600,000, right?
$760,000.
Okay. So you can buy an actual helicopter for about $300,000. For £100,000, you can get yourself a fairly amazing car, let's be honest. So for nearly half the cost of a flying car that doesn't do very well on the roads or can't fly very well, you can buy yourself an actual helicopter or a little plane, or a car.
Yeah, it seems it's one of those... I mean, it's kind of cool, but it just doesn't sound like it would really work.
It's
And-
just not sensible.
I mean, a van is designed to have lots of space, but it's not exactly your town runabout. It's not exactly what it is. A proper big
No.
van.
Because they're long and they're
Yeah.
big and they're bulky, and it doesn't matter how fast or good the brakes or how comfortable the seating position is. It's a big vehicle. You don't want it in a town.
Not
I'm
really.
driving to London next week. What car am I going to take? Our big 7-seater people carrier thing or the little teeny tiny hatchback? It's a long way for us. I'm taking the little teeny tiny hatchback so I can get car park space somewhere towards London.
Yeah.
It just, yeah.
Flying car. But here's the thing, though. Are you going to drive that car or fly it? Because it's not going to be much fun on the road, and you need a runway to take off. So it's just, it seems a bit sort of pointless. Like, if you're going to go to an airport, like, you're going to go to that large degree, surely you'd probably want a proper aeroplane to have fun in. But I suppose you could drive to the airport and then you just take off.
So the Americans developed the V-22, okay, the Osprey. It is part helicopter, part plane. It can fly at the speed and range of an airplane, and it can land like a helicopter. It is fraught, absolutely fraught, with technical nightmares that have to be overcome on a massively frequent basis. It's a military aircraft, okay? They have dozens of really well-trained mechanics look after the thing. This flying car thing, it's not going to be that well maintained. You just know it won't be. Because the other thing they want is these like hover drone things that are just big enough for people. Would you ever get one in? Not on your life. No way. Not ever. No. Would I trust it to drop my shopping from Amazon if I lived in a place in America where they do that? No. Because I've seen so many videos of them dropping stuff. Like eggs. Just dropped. Smashed. Brilliant. Yes. There are some very, very good parts to it. I think, was it the Isle of Wight? They're using drones to take medical stuff to and from the mainland. I think I read about that. That's a very clever use. Technology. I love technology. However, there is a limit. And I think a car that can fly, or a plane that can land and drive, or a car that can go on water, or a boat that can... It gets very complicated. The pinnacle of two-form transport is probably the aircraft that can land on water. Do you know why? Because it has wheels, and it doesn't really matter whether it's on land or water. So it can land on both. I think that's probably the pinnacle of dual-purpose transport.
Yes.
Is my personal thought.
Well, moving away from flying cars...
I got another message from Community Dan.
Okay.
Back to rats. You see, it's Dan's fault we're talking about rats on tangents.
Mm-hmm.
It's Community Dan. The lovely Carol Ann, my amazing wife, used to work at a rural children's nursery, which occasionally had additional visitors.
Okay.
They were not being safeguarded, were they? They weren't going through safeguarding checks because they were the rodent kind. They were not... See, rodents don't know about safeguarding.
No,
they would visit the school and they wouldn't have a little pass or badge or anything. No. When this special man came to deal with them, the code was, "The plumber is here."
Okay.
I have a question then. If the rat man is the plumber, okay, and when the rat man comes, it's the plumber, I can understand that. It sort of, gets rid of some of the conversations, except for all the kids that say, "I want to be a plumber. Can I see your bag of tools?" There's a severed rat's head. Yeah. What do you call the plumber if the plumber is the rat man?
I think you just call him the plumber.
Or is that the rat man?
Yeah,
I don't know. What do you call it?
Is
that the electrician? And then what do you call the electrician? That's the chippy. So what do you call the carpenter? That'll be the rat man. That's the gardener. He's the gardener. Where's his lawnmower? I'm surprised the kids didn't just go into knots with, "I don't think so."
Although, here's the thing though.
I love that.
Why not just call the person getting rid of the rats the rat police or something like that?
It is the rodent relocation engineer.
Yes, and get these little handcuffs for the rat or something to reassure people. Oh, actually, do you want another story whilst we still got time?
Apparently, the children were kept away from the workmen.
Okay, yes.
You see, that would make sense to me. You don't want kids near rats or rat poison or anything of that nature. Although I would assume not rat poison in a school, probably just traps.
Probably. I mean, there is quite an efficient way of getting rid of rats, and it's called a small dog or a cat.
Do you know why a dog's good for rats?
I don't know.
We had... This is funny. So back in the day, we had a dog. All right, it was Jack Russell. And a beautiful dog. It was good fun. But a friend of ours said, "Can I borrow your dog, please?" Now, I've never come across someone saying, "Can I please borrow your dog?" It gets better. "I really want them to wee and poo in my garden." "I'm sorry, what now?" "Well, I just want your dog to come and wee and poo in my garden." Right. Okay, so we diligently went with our dogs into the garden and said, "What? Okay, why?" "Well, do they want some water? Do they want something to eat?" No, they're fine. Just, I want them to wee and poo on the floor." "Why? Especially the wee." "Yeah, but why?" "Because rats don't like dog wee."
Okay.
So if your dogs wee all over my garden, I won't have rats anymore.
But you'll have a very damp garden, I would say.
Yes. So when one of the dogs finally did have a wee, because you can see the dogs are like, "What? What do you want?" They just wanted to play. It's like we're in a garden. "Oh yeah, can they wee now?" "Well, We can't exactly squeeze them and get the wee out. It don't work that way with the dog. They'll go when they're ready. And he was elated when one of them started to have a wee on his grass.
Okay.
Could they wee over there? Look, I can't force a dog to wee, okay? I can't make it wee. And if I could make it wee, how am I going to make it wee in one spot, not in another? Well, could I, like, harvest the wee? It's like, what conversation am I having in the back garden of someone who was so terrified of rats he wanted to borrow our dog to wee and poo in his back garden?
Yeah.
Righty-ho.
Let's begin. Do you want to move on away from poo, rats, and dog pee and stuff
Yes,
like
we
that?
can.
So
We've only got 2 minutes, though.
okay. Well, this is something.
That was quite. I liked that on that one.
Yeah. The
tangent was Dan's fault. He took us down the rat man route.
Yeah. Well, this one actually. I don't often hear much about British scientists, but this one is something that some British people made.
We do have them.
Yes. Although it seems
They're quite clever.
Yes. Although it seems kind of utterly pointless.
They made the internet
Although it seems kind of utterly pointless.
and jet power possible.
Oh yes. They made the world's smallest violin.
I like this.
Do you want to know how small the violin is?
Yes, I do.
It's so small that, in comparison to your hair, to a single strand of hair, it could fit inside the hair.
Does it play?
You'd need a very small set of hands.
You'd need
Not
really
really.
tiny fingers, wouldn't you, to be able to put your fingers on the strings?
Mm-hmm.
And was it in tune?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Because how do you tune something that small? Because you need a really, really sensitive microphone to be able to hear it. And then how do you turn the little stays in order to change the tone of each of the violins?
It doesn't really play, apparently, which means
So it's not a violin.
it's faulty, really.
So they made
think
a
about it.
mock-up of a violin.
Well,
so
they-
not an actual violin. They made something to look like a violin.
Well, they made a mock-up, and then they made it.
You're dead
much
right.
more
They made a
efficient.
mock-up of it.
They made a version, and then which took them 3 hours to make a miniature violin using platinum, apparently.
So they made a violin that isn't a violin, doesn't play. You can't hear it. You can't see it. And they want to call it a violin. No, you've made a picture.
Well, actually, they're using a special technology actually to do this. Nanotechnology. That's what they're using.
It was brainless technology, if I'm honest.
Well, basically,
Look at what we could do. We can make a picture of a violin that isn't a violin. You can't play, you can't hear, and you can't see. But look, it looks like a violin if you have £1 million worth of microscope.
Well-
Brilliant. Well done, scientists.
it's quite impressive though, because they made something microscopic that has a violin shape.
Say goodbye, Peter.
Goodbye.
I'll be back after the news. Thank you for joining us. We hit our hour. Hope you've enjoyed that fun. If you've got things you're thankful for, let us know. We had Dan saying, thankful for the Facebook auto-generated captions.
Yes.
Yep. Thankful for good friends with an understanding and listening ear. Isn't that a good one?
That is good.
That's
yes.
a really good one. I met 2 new friends today who were just like that. It's beautiful. What else is he thankful for? I think Dan said he's thankful that he's made us take some tangents.
Yes.
I think that's quite impressive too. Right, we're going to say good night and goodbye, but come back after 5 o'clock after the news, and we'll still be, well, I'll still be here. You'll have gone.
Probably getting some food.
Yes. All right. So full screen for you. Would you like to say goodbye to people?
Goodbye. I've very much enjoyed myself and glad to be back.
Oh, PFF, it's on the thing.
Oh yes, it is.
We can now see the Pure Family Festival logo.
Yes, you can just. I'm trying to point at the right place. You can just about see it there.
It's very exciting. Right, we'll be back next week. Will we?
Pretty sure we'll be back next week.
Back next week for more of the same. And on Sunday from 4 o'clock, Jojo and I will be here doing live on Facebook as well. So for now, thank you. See ya.